Holy mother of... To bring this concept down to earth, let's use an example. Prepare for war. Hi everyone, this is Dan, and today we will see what are the top 5 hottest cryptocurrencies, their differences, and our humble opinion about whether you should buy them or not. So if you don't want to miss a trend, better watch till the end, because the last one actually surprised the heck out of me when I was researching for this video. But before we start, you should seriously think on hitting that like button as well as the subscribe button if you're interested about making money but are not that interested as to hear a guy talk for 30 minutes about lines moving.
Hard stop, which is going to take you out of the trade. So your hard stop loss should always be...
But now, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this video. The top 5 hottest cryptocurrencies that may raise its price hundreds, thousands, or even tens of thousands of dollars. And our little review at the end. But to make that review, we need to explain each one of them or else the analysis won't make any sense. Of course, we'll start with the obvious. Bitcoin has become mainstream in the last years, and its price tag certainly shows how popular this currency is. Bitcoin works by destroying the middleman in every money transaction and lets every user keep track of all the movements of money and also the order in which they were made, to avoid multiple payments without funds. This is done with math, and to not bore you, here's a simple version. It's very easy to know that 89 times 97 is 8,633. But it's a lot more difficult to know what two numbers multiplied together give you those 8,633. This is called hashing, and although it is more complex than this, you can get the basic gist of it. Just know that BTC transactions are very safe, relatively cheap, and can't be controlled by any government, which makes it perfect for storing value. In the top right corner, you can see our video talking about how to protect your savings with Bitcoin. Did you know that in more stable currencies, the S&P 500 hasn't really recovered yet? It's true, look it up. The US dollar is melting faster than an ice bar in the Sahara Desert. But anyways, Digibyte or DGB released in 2014 and is actually based on Bitcoin, but it had in mind all of its shortcomings, so they keep track on transactions the same way. Same old public tracking of who has the money and who did the money transfer first, but the differences are: number 1, the time it takes to make a transaction. While Bitcoin takes 10 whole minutes to transact, Digibyte only takes 15 seconds. Imagine paying for a sandwich and wait 10 entire minutes to pay for it. And number 2, the security of each transaction. While Bitcoin is already very secure with its hashing, Digibyte went above and beyond with 5 different hashing methods. They even use this security for freaking nuke codes, so you can either believe your Digibytes are safe or start getting prepared for some Fallout level shit. Holy mother of... I didn't remind you to subscribe, so please subscribe if you want to know more about personal finances without the annoying dude trying to push you his exclusive course on how to become a billionaire while taking a dump with the secret method that got him his Lambo that you only saw once and was totally not a rental. But let's continue. Litecoin was literally designed to be the light version of Bitcoin, hence Litecoin or LTC. While Bitcoin is like digital gold, Litecoin is like digital silver. If BTC is like Goku, then LTC is his Vegeta. While up to 21 million Bitcoins can be created, up to 4 times as many Litecoins can exist. And you may wonder, why the hell you wanna have a crappier version of Bitcoin? Well, to begin with, have you ever tried to use Bitcoin? You need some PhD level math to know how much is a freaking hot dog with all those decimal places. Making Litecoin less value packed makes it an easier way to transact some regular day-to-day stuff, and it also takes 2.5 minutes to make a transaction compared to the 10 minutes it takes BTC. The objective was to make it for small transactions, while Bitcoin would be used for big purchases or sales that needed more security. By the way, if you think there's a crypto that I missed, like, I don't know, Dogecoin or some other shit that you think should definitely be on this list, please feel free to let me know how dumb I am in the comments down below. Now, let's talk about Ethereum and Ether or ETH. So you'll see, Ethereum is not a cryptocurrency. Ether is. Ethereum is a platform for decentralized applications. Imagine it more like an iOS for your iPhone where apps can be developed for, but instead of Apple having complete control of it, it would be 100% decentralized across many computers around the globe. So these Ethereum apps are unique because they use smart contracts that, after programmed, they become unchangeable and auto-executable. To bring this concept down to earth, let's use an example. Imagine a new crowdfunding company starts promoting a new project that will start after a minimum of $1 million is collected. Here, you will need to trust that the company won't take your money in case that 1 mil is not reached. So this new company would have a rough time trying to convince people it won't scam them. But here's where Ethereum gets in. This company could make a dApp on Ethereum or use an already existing dApp that would automatically send the money back if the minimum amount is not reached. All users would see how the app works, but no one would be able to change it, so no chance to scam anyone. In fact, this is so safe you could get rid of the middleman and work on a project-to-project basis knowing it is just as safe. But how would you pay for all of this? With Ether, that also takes 15 seconds of transaction time and has no limits on mining. This will be very important to consider on our final judgment that will come in just a minute. Finally, we have Ripple's XRP. And this one was the one that shocked me the most because, unlike the other cryptocurrencies we talked about, XRP is not decentralized. Quite the opposite. It is very centralized in a single company called Ripple Labs, who has the ownership of more than half of the circulating XRPs. The advantage here is that the centralized nature makes it very fast to transact, and it has many big players like the American Express and Bank of America working with the Ripple Open Network. That's kind of like the digital highway XRPs have to go through to make a transaction. XRP has been getting a lot of traction lately, as it is under the $1 price tag, which makes it cheap to buy and leaves it open for huge percentage gains with a small nominal change in price. Just imagine if you would have bought BTC when it was worth less than a cent. Now that we've described this family of cryptocurrencies, we can make a little analysis on them. Let's get BTC out of the way first, as I already made a video about it. It is the most popular one for a reason. The price will fluctuate up and down, but it will go up for sure, so you should buy for the long term. Then we have Litecoin, that, quite honestly, doesn't have that much of an advantage compared to Bitcoin. It was made to transact more quickly, but BTC has now the Lightning Network that allows for small transactions to be almost instantaneous, leaving Litecoin as a less secure, slower version of Bitcoin. So yeah, pretty crap. Next, we have Digibyte, that's more secure than Bitcoin, but a bit slower than the Lightning Network. But the Lightning Network has its problems as well. But those are too complicated for this video. So here's the gist of what I believe. I once saw a post on Reddit that said that Bitcoin is king, but Digibyte is the prince waiting to be king. But it may wait for a while, as the simple fact is, Digibyte is not really popular. Not compared to BTC, that is, and although it can scale very well, there's nothing to scale into yet. I see a future for this coin though. Add the fact that it's less than $1 to buy one, and you got yourself a deal. Later we have Ether, and we have to call out the elephant in the room. ETH has an unlimited supply. Just imagine that gold starts raining every day. It would be awesome for a day or two, but after a while, there would be so much gold, it would be worthless. That gold, however, would be worth something if somehow there was a lot more demand for it, like, I don't know, making cars and houses out of gold. Same with Ether. If there was a lot of demand for Ethereum dApps, then Ether would have to go up. So the value is really tied to how well the Ethereum OS does. I personally love smart contracts, so I have a 5% of my portfolio on Ether. Then we have Ripple Labs XRP, and this one is very interesting as it is centralized and it works with the already established financial system. A lot of people complain about the fact that it's centralized, but I think that's a pussy bullshit argument. Not everything that's decentralized is gold, and having less players makes it easier to predict. Since Ripple Labs wants to make money, they won't just flood the market all at once. They will wait until it's expensive and then slowly release it. Besides, If XRP works with already established players, it will not suffer from the inevitable fight between governments and cryptos. Keep a government away from their taxes and see how it goes.
Sir, we just got a report about a group of sentient coin people related to nukes exploding at us a couple of scenes back. Oh well, what you gonna do? There are more important things than national security. Say, how's my grade sum going? I'm gonna need that bad boy in a couple of years. Sir, they also did something else. Tell me. Yes? They're evading taxes, sir. Sir? Prepare for war. Holy shit, sir! Should I alert the army? I don't know, what was I doing?
One last thing is that although banks don't really need XRP to use the Ripple Open Network, it wouldn't be a good business idea to buy a lot of something and then not use it at all. But who knows? And if you want to know more about Bitcoin and how it can protect you from all the money printing, go to this video right here, or this one if you think cryptos are too risky and want a couple of very solid stocks. Bye!